Hey guys, it's Mariana, and today I'm going to be talking about Season 1 of Sense8. This is a new Netflix original series created by the Wachowskis that came out about a month ago, and I ended up marathoning the whole thing in less than a week, and now I'm sad because I'm out of episodes to watch. Now, the fact that this is created by the Wachowskis can sound a little bit concerning because they haven't really had a very good track record lately with the movies, but this show turned out really good in my opinion. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope that they get renewed for season 2 because if they don't, I'll be really sad. If you haven't seen the trailer, the show follows 8 different characters from different parts of the world, different cultures. They don't know each other, and for some reason, they are suddenly able to pop into each other's minds, so to speak, and feel what the other person is feeling. They don't know why this is happening. It happens kind of randomly, and the only person who seems to know what's going on is Jonas, aka Saeed from Lost, whom I was very happy to see again, and that's kind of all you need to know about the show going in. Now, don't expect the show to give you all of the answers right away or even by the end of the season, and don't expect everything to be resolved because it's not that kind of show. It is a pretty slow burning story. Even though the individual storylines progress at a pretty normal pace, the overall storyline with why and how they're able to connect to each other takes its time, so don't expect that to be resolved within the first few episodes, and it is definitely still a story in progress. I ended up really liking Sense8 despite the fact that it is not perfect and it does have some slower parts that just kind of feel like a lot of setup. I still thought it was very interesting and I cared about every single storyline. I can almost guarantee you that no matter who you are, you'll be able to relate to something in the show because of how different all of these characters are, and the fact that they come from all these different backgrounds and cultures lets the show comment on a lot of different issues like LGBTQ and cultural standards and cultural stereotypes, family, friendship, love, career, emotional trauma. All of these things are addressed in the show and give you something to think about, and also the overall theme about empathy and being connected to other people and being able to relate to people who seemingly have nothing in common with you is also very interesting and very good, and overall, the show carries a very positive message. I was actually having a hard time figuring out which of the storylines is my favorite, and I still don't have just one single answer to that because that's just impossible. Every time they focused on the storyline that I thought was my favorite and then switched to another one, I was like, oh, but I like these guys here as well. Oh, and then these ladies are really cool too. So I have 3 answers to that. First of all, I really liked Wolfgang, who is a guy in Germany, and he is the most morally ambiguous character on the show, and you guys know how much I love my morally ambiguous characters. But he is somebody who is almost defined by his childhood and by the path that he has chosen that's kind of outside the law, but at the same time you can see that he has a good heart. Then I'm also really invested in Kala, who is an Indian girl about to get married, and she comes from a very traditional family, and as you can imagine, there are some issues that come up there. And the third person that I really liked was Lido, who is this Mexican movie star. Not only did his character have a lot of development towards the end of the show especially, and somehow his scenes managed to get to me emotionally on more than one occasion, but also there are a lot of scenes of him shooting this blockbuster movie that are absolutely over the top and hilarious, and generally there are quite a few funny moments within his storyline. So those 3 are my favorites, I think, but I honestly love every single one of the characters. From a visual standpoint, Sense8 is beautifully shot, and I thought overall it was just a good looking show. There is quite a bit of mature content in it, so don't watch this with your small children. It's not a good idea because there is everything in it. There's nudity, there's sex, there's violence, and there even are some pretty graphic birth scenes. I mean, like all up in their birth scenes and shots that I was even not prepared for because it's not something you want to see every day. The only issues that I have with Sense8 have to do with the writing, and that may sound like a major problem, but it really isn't somehow, because there are so many good things about the show. Some of the dialogue is pretty cheesy. There are moments in the show when you're like, really, somebody wrote that? That sounded off. And then there are some scenes where you can just see an obvious way to do things, and for some reason the character decides to do it the dramatic, difficult way. And that is something that I noticed. I don't know if most people will notice it, but because I watch so many shows and so many movies, when stuff like that happens, it's pretty obvious. And like I said, it is a slow burning story, so it does feel like just a ton of setup sometimes, but you are so invested in these individual storylines of these people that after a while, you just kind of get used to it. That being said, as I've just mentioned, there are a lot of good things about the show and about the writing. There's a particular karaoke scene, for example, that will just stay with me forever because I have rewatched it on YouTube over and over again, and it just makes me smile every time. And I think a lot of people consider it to be their favorite scene from the show. There are also, like I said, a lot of funny moments and a lot of emotional moments. It is just a really interesting look at humanity and at empathy and how we're all connected. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I think you should definitely check out this TV show. If I were to give season 1 of Sense8 an overall rating, I would have to go with 4 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. You could even say I loved it, despite the fact that there were flaws, and these little flaws are why I'm giving it 4 and not 5 out of 5. To be honest, the more I think about it, the more I forget about all of the imperfections and whatever issues I had with the writing, and I think about all of the good stuff. So I think that's a very good thing, and you should definitely check Sense8 out if you have a Netflix account, which if you don't, what are you doing with your life? I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have watched Sense8 already and what did you think. I would love to have a little bit of a spoiler discussion down in the comments below. Just make sure to warn people that you are about to unload some spoilers in that comment. But I would love to talk to you about theories and what's going on, because there are definitely theories when it comes to this show. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!